Tapos, hmm,
Nadidinig niyo po
VB.
kami, sir?
Winning naman.
Okay.
Ako ba?
Opo, clear po.
Sige. Square. Therefore, okay. And then, what are the magnitude and angle below horizontal before it hits the ground? Mm-hmm. Ganun. Total horizontal distance. Anong units ng yung sa letter V?
Minutes.
Yung total distance? Oo. Ano yan? 23 what?
23 meters.
Okay. Tapos yung sa yung sa V sub 3. Okay. And then angle is Teka. Negative. Paano naging 177?
Negative 63 po.
Tapos
ay, 107.
Yung visualize na nga. Negative 63, tapos yung opposite. So, 180 minus 63. Okay, sige. So, ngayon, ano yung choice na gagana dyan? Yung isa, negative 63, yung isa, 107 degrees. Pwede ba mag-drawing ka ng diagram para makita ko ano yung situation para sa part C and D?
Just before it hits the ground?
Just before it hits the ground. So, ano yung itsura ba ng ano? Ano yung itsura ng system natin? So, parabolic siya. Launched up and forward. So, kung 117 degrees, parang mali yung direction.
Opo, from the positive x-axis.
Ngayon pero tingnan mo yung direction ng arrow. Di ba going into the ground yan? So, pag 117 degrees, tapos nun, given yung speed, ano yung direction ng velocity pag ganon? Hindi pwedeng ganyan. Opposite. So yung arrow, pag 117 degrees, parang going ano siya, up to the left, di ba? Ano yan eh, yung tangent inverse that gives you two directions. Yung isa, pabalik or pabaliktad yung direction. Yung isa, moving into the ground. So yung 117, that's actually not moving into the ground. It's actually moving away from the ground. So yung arrow, paakyat na ganyan. Yan yung 117. Tapos yung isa, yung going into the ground, that's negative 63. So, alin yung final velocity dyan? So, it can't be 117. Tangent inverse gives us, pag kumuha ng tangent inverse, may two possibilities. Pero, hindi lahat ng possibilities pwede.
Yung ano nga po yung ray.
Ayan. So, pag kumuha ng tangent inverse, hindi, ganito. Yung angles that will give you that value of tangent would be negative 63 and 117 degrees. Pero, isa lang yung kailangan natin. Pwedeng negative 63 or 360 minus 63. Ano yung 360 minus 63? Hindi ako man mag-subtract. So, 297 degrees. Yun yung ano, yun yung nagko-correspond to the same direction. Ano yan eh, parang kung naalala mo sa vectors, diba? Pag nag-base ka ng x and y coordinates, yung isang angle lang between 0 and 360, yung nagbibigay ng tamang angle. Clear ba yung reason?
Oo nga po, kasi hindi, kasi nga po yung tangent inverse nga, lalo na ito, ano pa yung tangent inverse? Tangent inverse of negative. So, ito dapat po
kaya useful na may diagram ka kasi it allows you to choose an incorrect angle given may ambiguity. Ano eh, kasi tangent inverse is not enough.
Foster angle po. It's not really the real angle.
Okay. Anyway, so negative 63 or 297 degrees. Ngayon, punta tayo sa next problem. Patingin. Okay. A ball is launched with a velocity of 10, 50 degrees to the horizontal. Does the ball land on the ramp or the plateau? So, nasaan na yung ano? Hindi ko na... Yung... Saan yung sagot mo sa letter A?
Sagot sa letter A.
Ayun, the ball... So, yung sagot mo dyan, the ball lands on the ramp. Teka. Ngayon, ganito, i-abstract natin yung problem. So d sub 1, d sub 2, given d sub 2 and d sub 1, alam natin yung angle ng ramp, diba? So it's going to be tangent inverse of d sub 2 over d sub 1. So forget about this problem. Don't use the values given. And let's just deal with an abstract angle. So pakita ko yung ano, pakita ko yung setup. Para lang ma-analyze natin yung ano. Wait. Teka, share ko muna yung screen ko. Teka, sorry. Share screen. Okay. So, let's abstract the problem. Para lang... Okay, so, ito yung ramp. Tapos nun, ang may given na initial velocity. And then, let's call this theta. And then, let's call this phi. And then, yung ano dito ay, kasi di ba, napuputol yung ano, from here, so if we call this point, let's call this point A. Tapos, ang tanong, let's say extended yung ramp. Pangit naman yun, no? So, mas magandang angle para mas makita. Let's say extend natin yung ramp. Kung ganito. So, there's some angle. Let's call this theta. So, ang gusto kong malaman, so, di ba, may parabolic path dyan. How far up the ramp will the ball travel? So, ano yung distance from A to B? Tapos, express in terms of V naught, theta, and phi. Kasi kung masagot natin to, special case yung problem. Kaya, screenshot ko lang, no? Para ma-send ko sa'yo. So, distance from A to B, we're given two angles. So, yung, para ano, to be clear, yung theta at saka yung phi, so, syempre, dapat phi is less than 90. And it's going to be greater than theta. And both are greater than 0. Yung situation na, paano kapag less than 0 yung theta? Actually, pwede, you can also treat it, pero ito yung case na interesado tayo. So, pwedeng paki-set up, tapos pakihanap ng distance from A to B. Screenshot this again. Tapos send ko sa messenger. Kung naalala ko, may problem sa theoretical mechanics na ganyan eh. Na tinanggal na yung values eh. Tapos hinahanap lang yung expression. And then later, we're going to plug in the values you obtain. Pero what you want is something more abstract. Like, what is the distance from A to B in terms of those variables? Syempre, may dependence on G din yan. Kaya, so, nasend ko na sa messenger.
To make use of this L.
So, para pwede mong kopyahin. Okay, Okay, so magsa-stop na ang screen share para makita ko yung ginagawa mo. So we have those angles. This is phi. This is theta. And then, ano yung part mag-i-intersect? So, x is equal to tapos intersection. Is equal.
Kailangan po using all of them?
Kung ano man yung kailangan.
Sus.
Ano yun eh, kasi tingnan natin. Kung halimbawa, masyadong maliit yung ano yung magiging effect ng velocity? Kapag yung initial speed lumaki, pero the other things are kept constant, anong mangyayari? What do you expect?
Tataas po.
Lalaki yung AB. So dapat nag-i-increase yung AB as a function of V0. Tapos, let yung distance. So, kung gusto mo, pwede tayo mag-define ng let's define, I think para mas, maybe to make it easier, define the auxiliary variable D to be equal to AB. So in distance from A to B, let's call it small d.
Hindi ba po ito yun? Yung distance. So, y tsaka x. Okay.
Hindi, punta tayo dun sa sa ginagawa mo. So, ngayon, wait. Yung y, hindi pwedeng y equals v0 times t minus 1/2 gt square. Ano yung coordinate system mo diyan?
Radial, tawag po lang.
Teka, tingnan mo yung symbols na dinefine. May theta, yung theta is yung angle ng ramp. Ano yung angle ng velocity?
Angle ng velocity. V.
So, that phi yan.
Okay. Ah! Okay.
Okay, minus 1/2 phi d square. So, teka, bakit may square root of x square plus y square ka dyan? Ano yan? So, yung b, yan yung distance from A to B.
Ano?
Sige.
This algebra.
Ganito. Kaya nag-introduce ako, let B be equal to AB. So, yung distance from A to B, or tawagin mo lang na small d. D as in dog. Tapos, wag nating gamitin yung x and y kasi kaya siya nagiging magulo kasi yung x and y natin, ni-define natin as position of the particle as a function of time. So, gamit na yung use na yan. Instead, so just call it D. Kasi, tinan mo, pag nag-iiba-iba yung value ng T, yung D na yan does not represent the distance from A to B. That's actually the distance from the origin to the final location. Okay. So, here, sige, wait. Use a different symbol. YXF, YF. Kasi, nagsasabi, hindi, wag mong tawagin XFYF yung sa taas. Yung nasa taas, yan yung yan yung dependence ng Y as a function on time. X depends on X on time din yan. So if you want, mag-define ka ng variable T sub F. T sub F is the time at which it reaches point B.
So, ano ba? Express so,
So, from the above two equations and yung dinefine natin ng YF and XF, how do we relate XF, YF, and TF? Or how do we relate d sine theta to TF? d cosine theta to TF.
By equating them. Lol.
So d cosine theta is equal to sine phi
Yun na po yan ako yung answer.
sige. So, ngayon, eliminate mo yung t sub f. Di ba meron tayong dalawang equations eh. D cosine theta, tapos yung y sub f. So, sorry. D cosine theta is v naught t sub f. Sine phi. Di ba may dalawang equations tayo? Na nire-relate yung final positions to initial positions. So yung isang equation ay d sine theta equals v naught t sub f sine phi minus g t sub f square. And we get that from yung sa y. Paano yung sa x? And then, don't solve for d yet. Kasi ang unknowns natin ay yung distance traveled at saka yung t sub f. Pag nagbilang tayo ng unknowns dyan, we have two equations with two unknowns. So d sine theta is equal to v naught t sub f sine phi minus g t sub f square over 2. That's one equation. The other equation is d cosine theta v naught t sub f cosine phi. So, I think kung pwede mo i-color code yan para alam mo kung ano yung mga knowns at ano yung unknowns. So, given yung theta, given yung phi, given yung v naught. Kaya, if we look at the two equations, we have two equations with two unknowns. So, meron tayong one equation with one unknown. And it's a quadratic equation for D. So, the setup,
Yes, I remember it. Hindi ba po ito po yun? Ano ba? Ito po.
kaya, iba yung situation dito sa 51. At least kung tama yung figure na nakita ko.
This.
Anyway, solve this on its own.
Wait. Cos theta tan cos theta tan cos squared ba? Yes, cos squared over 2v0 cos v squared v dito ba? Ganun ba? Squared din. So it's exactly the same nga. So this thing should apply din. What did I do? B sine A cos A tan alpha blah blah blah. Get this, that, that. Isolate D, and this. And I put this master formula. Okay.
So, 1/2 G cosine squared theta V naught squared cosine squared phi plus D sine theta minus sine phi cosine theta over cosine phi is equal to 0. So plus D cosine phi sine theta minus sine phi cosine theta over cosine phi is equal to 0. So, kaya ginagawa ko rin ngayon eh. So, d sine theta is equal to teka. Cosine theta V naught plus D cosine cos sin cos theta minus phi cosine squared phi Teka. Ano ginagawa mo ngayon? D sine theta is equal to V naught D cosine phi, V naught cosine theta cosine phi. So, tangent phi D squared cosine squared theta 2V naught square cosine squared phi. So, may common factor ng D, so tanggal. So, sine theta teka, D sine theta plus so tangent theta is equal to tangent phi minus GD cosine theta cosine squared theta V naught square cosine divide yung cosine. So cosine theta. Teka, ano ko lang. So nag-divide by G cosine theta. So cosine phi tapos sine phi minus theta. Yan yung D. Over G cosine theta. Sine of phi minus theta. Okay. Ngayon, so V naught sine phi minus theta, G cosine theta. So yan yung distance over the lamp. Ngayon, tingnan natin yung ano. Let's see, does it make sense? If V naught increases, lumalayo tayo along the ramp, no? Kapag, so phi is greater than theta, so positive yung sign, at saka yung cosine magiging positive. Okay, so tingnan natin yung ano. So, nakuha, yung angle ng ramp is 31 degrees. Tapos, yung, so we know the angle, tapos yung initial speed is 10, yung phi is 50 degrees. So plug that into your expression. So phi is 50, theta is 31.
43.5 po lumabas.
Anong nakuha mo?
23.5.
Paki-check yung substitution. 2 times 100 times sine of 50 minus 30 minus 31 over 9.8 cosine of 31. Actually, ginagamit ko 30.26.
7.75 po.
Okay, so 7.75. Ngayon, that's how far up the ramp, assuming the ramp continues forever. Ngayon, tingnan mo yung problem. Ano yung length ng ramp, it's going to be square root of 6 square plus 3.6 square. Diba? Or that's going to be 6.6 plus 3 square. Yeah, tama ba? 6, sorry, square root of 6 square plus 3.6 square. That's going to be the base of the ramp. Teka.
Pero ano mo nila to?
Negative number.
Imposible. Baka mali ito mo. Baka mali mo.
Hindi.
6 square plus
Square root of 6 square plus
Diretso ko
3.6
lang.
square.
Hindi,
6.99.
Tama.
Tapos,
Diretso
yung
dapat
nakuha
yung
natin na
side,
ano,
dapat hindi.
2 times 10 square. Teka. Bakit hindi nagtutugma? Ano yung nung kinalculate mo yung distance along the ramp? Ano yung lumabas? Balik tayo sa expression kanina.
0.9947. Halos.
Ano yun?
Yung ano po yung how far up the ramp?
Oo. So, nung sinubstitute na yung values, so 2, 10 square, tapos G cosine phi.
7.75.4.
So, 7.75 meters. Ngayon, yung sa problem naman, yung length ng ramp dito is square root of 6 square plus 3.6 square, which gives us 6.99. That's going to be less than that. Kaya, so bakit ganon? Pwede tingnan natin yung algebra. Baka naman may mistake. Ay, kung hindi natin ma-resolve yan within the time, then ko-continue natin to. Ano to eh? Di ko na kasi maalala yung result eh. Pero alam ko classic, this is a problem that's typically assigned sa mechanics courses. Yung second mechanics course na don't use numbers, set up a formula. So 2v naught square tangent theta tangent phi cosine theta GD cosine theta. So, G cosine theta. Yung cosine squared theta, pag minultiply sa tangent theta minus tangent phi. So, cosine squared phi, tangent theta. Bakit ganon? Tingnan mo yung line just before yung line for our formula. So tangent theta minus tangent phi. So we divide both sides by G cosine theta. Distribute mo yung cosine squared phi, di ba? So bakit naging tangent? Paano naging cosine phi sine phi? Kailangan natin ng maingat na algebra dito. May papel ka ba dyan? Kasi ang I think ang nagiging problema, mukhang may nagme-mental algebra eh. So let's do this on paper and then show all the steps. Kasi pag 'di ba, pag hindi mo ginawa 'yon, may mga nalalaglag na terms eh. So you need paper and pen. Cosine squared phi. Okay, tapos gawin ko rin yung algebra. So G. So I'm going to get G cosine squared theta d 2v naught square cosine squared phi is equal to d sine of phi minus theta over cosine squared phi. So d is equal to 2v naught square sine phi minus theta divided by g cosine squared theta.
May nalaglag po kasi dito. Squared na siya. So, ano yung
Okay,
denominator?
so ano yung
Reverse engineering. So, kung ito, cosine lang, ginawa square ito. So, dapat yan pa rin.
So I think maganda na gawin mo siya ab initio. Yung without looking. So
ano to?
tingnan mo yung factor ng v naught square. I think may issue kasi tingnan mo. Simula ka dun sa d sine theta equals d cosine, yung third line from the bottom. D sine theta equals d cosine theta tangent phi minus gd square cosine squared theta over 2v naught square cosine squared phi. If you divide everything by d, dapat yung yung namumultiply sa G, may D square, may GD, tapos may V naught square. So parang hindi yata tugma yung algebra diyan.
Ito mo, divided by, matanggal po siya, ito magiging tangent. Tapos ito naman, matatanggal to. Matatanggal din po itong square.
Okay, so 2V naught, sige. So tangent theta equals tangent phi. Tapos sige. And then sige, i-work out ko yun. Sin theta over cosine theta equals sin phi cosine phi minus GD cosine theta over 2V naught square cosine squared phi. So, if we isolate GD cosine theta,
alam ko po it's exactly the same sa isa. Pero yung sa isa naman po kasi, pababa po siya so negative. So ito, 2V naught square cosine phi. So kung isa-substitute ko na.
hindi, ganito. Tuloy natin to sa pwedeng gawin mo ng maayos yung algebra dito na walang skips. Para lang without looking at other work.
Bakit mo?
Hindi, useful na gawin mo 'yon.
No.
Kasi tapos mag-compare tayo sa darating na Sunday kasi 6:07 na.
4.98 po yung lumabas.
Hindi. Gusto ko makita yung malinis na detail. So, pwedeng do it on paper tapos padala mo sa akin yung detailed solution nung pinost ko na problem. Yung something well written, yung using the rules. Ayan. So ipapa-homework ko 'yan. Kasi total sa UP nung pag ina-assign niyo sa problem set, may 1 week naman silang binibigay eh. So I'm not really expecting na yung maayos na write-up niyan. Yung maayos na write-up niyan magiging mabilis. And then, see what happens paano kapag yung theta less than 0 naman. So, does the formula you get extend to that case? Diba?
Parang ganyan po. Similar. Hindi po, pero pag ganun. Iba-iba pong, pwede kaya pong free fall. Yung wala.
Kaya,
Wala.
dito sa case na to, may pre-jump, diba? So, ibig sabihin may initial distance siya from the lamp.
Pero yung mga unskilled po, hindi po sila nag-jump. So, this formula will still apply.
Yeah. The initial course is approximately flat and the steeper track has a slope of.
Pwede po itong theta 0 can be literally 0 po. At ito,
Wag mo na yung pag-usapan itong problem na to. Kasi ubos yung oras natin eh. So, tuloy natin to this coming weekend. Tapos ano yun eh. Kasi what I'm trying to transition you into is how do you set up or how do you solve problems na purely in terms of variables lang? What we're trying to do is we're trying to abstract the problem. Kasi, ano yan eh, useful na skill yun eh, na makita mo kung ano yung dependencies talaga. Parang yung dati, di ba, na you don't actually need to know, use a fish Diba? You don't actually need to know the speed to get the correct angle.
Opo.
Anyway, so we'll stop here and we'll continue on Sunday.
Sige po.
Okay, bye-bye.
Sige po,
Thank you
bye-bye
po.
po.